G'day, Game Day Squad coaches. It is a beautiful, beautiful morning. It is Monday here in Australia, and we were able to just witness the Boston Celtics versus the 76ers in Game 7. It was a historic performance. We love sports here, and me and Kerm love the Boston Celtics, and I know we're not here for NBA, but I just quickly had to get it out. Kerm, surely you're buzzing right now, mate.
Mate, I'm up and about. It was an early start for us here in Australia, as you said, the game this morning, but we're up and about, keen to start talking some Aussie Rules footy after round 9, what a round it was.
Mate, that is something that can wake you up like no other. No coffee can match that. No amount of Red Bulls, nothing, dude. I am buzzing around this room right now, but today we are here because of Game Day Squad, and we're here for the Aussie Rules show for round 10. I've got my co-host with me, Cal, mate. How you going, big fella?
Not as good as you guys. You guys are in cloud 9 at the moment, rightfully so. Jason Tatum, what a man. But I was pretty happy. I've jumped on board the Lakers train because my Thunder obviously aren't in it at the moment, so I want to see greatness. So I'm all about LeBron at the moment. Would love a Lakers-Celtics finals. Let's make that happen. But also excited to be here because I had a good week. Or not a good week, but a better week than some. So I'm keen to get into that.
Well, let's get right into it, guys. What we're doing today is good. We are going to be looking at a player's performance from a fantasy perspective and having other fantasy breakdowns to help you all get game day ready. So let's get into it with how we normally start the show. Kerm, take it away with your pack of the week.
I have an absolute doozy this week, and it's one of our favourite segments because we get to bring you guys from the community into the show. But this pack that you're seeing on screen from Hagler on the Discord, what we've got here, it looks like a top 9. We've got an Andy Brayshaw silver, a Clayton Oliver silver, and double Sam Walsh silvers, if you don't mind. Absolutely double Sammy Walsh's, an absolutely unreal pack. This is the best pack I've seen on Discord, I think, for months, and in a common 9 pack, you cannot ask for much more. So, we've heard what you guys have said just briefly there. What do you guys think?
Remember last year?
I would go saying it's like the best pack for a month. That's one of the best capped packs of all time. If you're a cap competition player and you need those silvers, look at the... Dude, I'm speechless. Cal, mate, what's your thoughts on that? That is unreal.
Yeah, I was just thinking, we didn't have a full season at Game Day Squad last year. We only had one at the end of the season just as a test, where one of the things we had was you could actually play the same player more than once. And I tell you what, you've got a midfield there by yourself. You've got your 2 Sammy Walshes, you've got a Brayshaw, Oliver, and if you plug someone else in, you can play Nevitt and your midfield's still stacked. So, yeah, no, unreal. Congrats there, Hagler. Awesome pack. And I believe they're going to win some more packs, Kerm, for sending that through.
They are. We'll be in touch with some free packs to be in the pack of the week this week. And if you want to get involved, all you have to do is jump on Discord, take a little screenshot of your pack openings. We have a different criteria week to week. This week I'm going to go back to worst pack of the week. So submit your worst packs. That's one of our favourites. Makes us laugh. Makes us feel a little bit better because we're all human. We all open bad packs. So get those screenshots in for worst pack of the week, and you never know, you might be featured on the show.
Love it,
mate. If you looked at some of my live stream packs, I reckon I'd be in a good running.
That a few times over, I think.
For that, yeah. But why don't we get into our team reviews? Callum, you were saying that you were excited to get into this part of the show, so why don't you just take it away, mate? Why are you so excited? And break down how your week went.
Well, I'm excited, Tom, because I believe I've beaten you, which is always the benchmark and what I hold myself to every week. You can see there, didn't have an unreal round. I only finished 38th overall with 2,363 points. I didn't move from my seasonal rank of 16, and you can see there, I was in a pretty good spot heading into Sunday, but the Sunday really killed me. So I had Laird and Steele, so Laird got subbed out, Steele got sat, and then Sinclair just had an absolute stinker. So broke my fantasy heart. I didn't think I'd wake up this morning to see myself ahead of you, Tom, but it happened. So yeah, it was good though. I will say to actually have Errol Goulden in my team this week. So last week I didn't have him and I had to sit at Magic Round with you in Brisbane listening to every time he got the footy. It was nice this time to actually be on that side where every time he touched the footy, it was just points for my team. So not a good week for your Swans, but a great week for Errol Goulden.
I will say then, Errol Goulden was the difference this round because if you didn't play him again, and we know you can see the score there in Callum's team, how he went, you would have been behind me again. So that's a great call from you. It's about time you woke up, though, and you played Big Errol, because, gosh, he's been good this year.
Yeah, he has. He has. How is your team
But let's get
going
into
then?
my team. Sorry, yes, my team. All right, the Zeus Cannons this week didn't do too hot. 2,346 points, so not horrible, just not great in my opinion. We finished 44th for the round, but we actually moved up in our seasonal ranking to 13th. So I do like making that distance between me and Cal a little bit larger, even in an off week. So that was quite surprising to wake up and see that. But yeah, just some of the key things. I can't work out this Hawthorn back line. I seem to be playing one on the wrong week, one in the other. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. In my opinion, that's probably the weakness of my team. But moving forward, I might have a look at plugging in some different players. The midfield was pretty solid all around. Nothing too hot. I did take out Darcy Parish. I know you can see him right there in front of you for a silver Zach Merritt, because I did read that Parish was going to be excluded from the lineup for that game. So I just replaced him with his good old friend at Essendon there. And yeah, the forward line, mate, I could not be happier with what I see there. Sheasel didn't play too hot, but gosh, everyone else there is playing fantastic. So we're looking to bounce back. I reckon we can make a couple different subs to hopefully crack that top 10 again, because I do want to see myself there. But overall, mate, not complaining.
It's not good when you don't win packs, though. We like finishing in the top 20 and winning packs. So to have us both sit out of it this week, yeah, it's disappointing. But hey, Kerm, how did you go?
I just snuck into the packs, and I'm getting really sick of shooting myself in the foot. And it's hard for someone, as you can see there, I'm somehow climbed up to first on the seasonal rank. But my round 9 score was 2,860 on the week, which was only good enough for an 18th finish. And it seemed to be that open teams, at least, were down for the most part all around. I think the winner only cracked 3,050, I think. So only a couple of teams got over 3,000 this week. But just silly mistakes, like playing Braden Fiorini, for example, in the midfield. Jeremy Cameron didn't set the world alight this week. He's handing too many over to Tom Hawkins. Will Power, the Suns pair, actually, it just goes to show how volatile they can be in those sorts of games against West Coast, where it's a drumming and the ball's not down back that often, and they're not playing as wide as they like to on other grounds. So a down week, but climbed up to first on the seasonal ladder. I'm not sure how that happened. There might be a few Mills owners out there, or some Jack Steele owners, which you can see in my team as well, that late third quarter exit was really hurtful. But yeah, going into next week, we'll look to make some changes again, and I'm sure I'll figure out a way to hopefully climb back up the ladder or even move down further. So
I was going to say, you're sitting first, and it is very competitive in that champion competition. So I don't want to hear anything from you about shooting yourself in the foot, because geez. But
well, it's just those.
Yeah, well, I just want to give a shout out.
Picks like Braden Fiorini.
Yeah, well, that's yourself. That's your Guardiola that you do to yourself. So
yeah,
we've tried to coach that out of you, but we can't.
Yeah.
But shout out to SB Sports this week for taking out the champion competition with 3,050 points. That's the person who took out that. And Tom, the person we were chasing in the Classic, is What Is a Blinder. He got 2,400, or they I should say, got 2,495 points. So congratulations to those. They're both winning $1,000 each. So that's going to be sent out today. So that's awesome from them.
That is awesome, mate. And, you know, I did go back, and you just mentioned the scores that they won with. Callum, mate, if me and you just had last week's performance this week, we would be sitting 1 and 2 at the top of the table, which is why some of these decisions you make in your week to week for your team are so important, because it really could have been the difference in the end, and it could have been us getting some packs or... But that's just how the cookie crumbles, and well done to them, because they were just better than us this week, and it went to show on the leaderboard. So well done, fellas. But let's move on. Let's move on to our hot seat. And what we do here is we pull players and we shine some light into their performance for this season, but it's not so good of a light. That light is burning hot. Their cheeks are flaming. You don't want to be put in the hot seat, because yeah, it's just not a good place to be. But I might start
there
it
a
off
couple
this
weeks
week,
ago,
this
weren't
one
you?
is...
You know all about it.
Yes, yes. And since then, all I've done is beat you or climb up that seasonal ranking. So
I was going to say,
pretty
yeah,
horrible
District's
call
class.
from you. Pretty. I don't know about it, mate. But let me go with this because this is close to home. This is close to heart. And I'm throwing the entire of the Sydney Swans, other than Errol Goulden, on the hot seat this week. Errol Goulden is the only player
Yes.
who gets a pass.
Uh,
I am sick of seeing what I'm seeing on the weekend. There is just no desire. There is no hunt for the footy. Our back line is like a wet paper towel, mate. Honestly, you kick it into that forward 50 and you've got a good chance that you're getting a scoring shot at the moment. We just have no, like, I don't want to pick out people in particular, but Blakey on the weekend, my gosh, this guy looked lost on a lot of plays. He would go to try to body a player and then just completely disconnect and give them a free mark inside forward 50. Like when you go to get that one-on-one, you can't disconnect your body. You need to be staying attached and at least put in an effort and try. Just try to make it look like that you want to stop them from taking the mark because Luke Jackson looked like he was 3.5 meters out there and that no one could even get close to his hands when he was taking marks. I am sick of it. I really miss Rampy. I miss McCartan. My gosh. And you know what I do miss as well? I miss Mills and Isaac Heaney being in the midfield because, gosh, that midfield doesn't look good at times. We've got Parker still being in there. Why doesn't Parker go down back? Why don't you get the young fellas in there? They're going to win contest. Oh, mate, I'm done. I'm sorry.
It's almost like someone
Rant's
predicted
over.
this at the start of the year, Kerm. Someone boldly said that the Swans weren't going to make the finals, got absolutely ridiculed, took it as a personal assault. I love the Swans. Look, yeah, I'm keeping myself warm with this blanket
you don't.
today. But, yeah. If you're paying
don't wanna
attention
hear it
all
from
along,
you,
you'd
man.
realise that they didn't need to be thrown in the hot seat because they were going to be there all year. Kerm, who have you got, though?
The thing is, though, let me explain. Before you just blame my Swans and try to move on, brother, you can't be doing that. There is a lot of upside to the Sydney Swans, and I can see that in moments of games, like, it works, and we are really good, and we can turn it on for that 10, 15 minutes in quarters, but we just let it slip. It's just like everyone switches off. It's especially that GWS game. Like, it seemed like we had it in the bag, and we're like, all right, sweet, 10 minutes to go.
Do you know
We've
what
done
it
our
is?
job at
'Cause
the G.
one of the best young
We'll
lists
turn off.
in the AFL, but like I said, I love the Swans. So many garnet young players, and their premiership window will open up again very shortly, I'm sure. But getting belted in grand finals hurts you up here, and you didn't lose to the Giants because you weren't good enough. It's because you got to. It was all mental. It was all mental and a little bit of Toby Green. So that's where I think the
You know what
Swans are
else
at the
hurts?
moment. Go.
You know what else hurts? And I don't like to put names out there as well, but Lance Franklin, your biggest focal point in the forward line, is averaging 1.2 goals a game, ranked 73rd in the league.
I'm pretty keen for Amadi to come back. I'll be honest with you. And when that
Amadi,
does happen, there's a serious case for Buddy hitting the bench quite soon and potentially being a role model, or a leader for
Rumor has it
McDonald
Marty's still
and
waiting for his hamstring
Amadi.
to attach back, so I think it'll be a while before we see him.
It'll be a long
But
while.
let's
gonna
get
be a
back to
long time.
fantasy because we could roast your Swans all day, Tom. Maybe we can do that when we finish this here. Kerm, who have you thrown on the hot seat? I'd love to know because you're sitting there happy at top of the champion table at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me this week, and it's a little bit of that Jacob Hopper experiment I tried a couple of weeks ago, and it's Braden Fiorini. He's going straight onto the hot seat off the back of 129 and 107 GDS fantasy points with an increased role with Tuke Miller being out and getting more time on ground for Fiorini. I thought, you know what, I'll just stick him in against West Coast, who are conceding the most points to fantasy players league-wide, and just hope that he gets the ball on the foot, takes a couple of marks out on the wing. And he was doing it early. He started off really well, but just as the game went along and the Suns started to build that lead, Braden Fiorini sort of just needed out of the game. And
There's not many of you there. Say it.
I can own it. I can own it. As we
know.
built the lead and the game petered out, Braden Fiorini just went missing. So it just wasn't the game that I wanted from Braden Fiorini. And hopefully, you know, if he keeps his time on ground up and works his way through the midfield as long as Tuke Miller is out, he might still be relevant. But I don't know. He's just got that game profile where his kick to handball ratio is super impressive. He can hit the scoreboard. He's kicked 3 goals already this year. Takes a mark out wide. He can take a tackle, but he just can't string them all together at the same time at the moment. So he's going straight on the hot seat, and he will not be making my team for a few weeks to go, I think.
I want to step in. I feel for Fiorini there because it's not his fault he's thrown on the hot seat. You've played him over Sammy Walsh. Look at him sitting there on your bench. He double-tongued up. That is a you. That is a you on the hot seat.
Look,
you should be putting
Sammy
yourself.
Walsh.
Leave Fiorini out of this. He just did what we all expected him to do.
No. You got to, if you take into consideration the matchup, the role that he's been playing, he was to back myself in. He was actually quite a good player. And Sammy Walsh is so weird right now. Obviously, he's scoring unbelievable, and we are a numbers game, right? So you cannot discredit him at all. But only 43% CBAs. The guy is playing. I saw his heat map at halftime. He was playing pretty much straight off half back. And then in the second half, he was playing straight off half forward. It just makes no sense.
Mate, those CBAs, I think you're looking too far into it. Because if you look at Walsh's 3-game average, mate, he's at least, 130, 140, which would be competing with some of the best midfielders right now in the comp. That's along the likes of Oliver, Petrarca, all these guys we hold so highly. So, dude, but I do understand, but it's got to be tough getting a gig at the Kermies. Like, you really have the highest of expectations sitting at number 1 overall in the comp. Like, you got to perform or you're going to be thrown on this hot seat.
Yeah, it's true. He's out. Get him out. His cheeks are too hot.
Alrighty, well, let's move on to another part of the show. What we're going to do is we're going to ask you...
You don't want to see who I put on the hot seat?
My bad. I actually most certainly do want to hear that, so take it away, big fella. Who is on your hot seat this week?
Jeez, I don't know if I want to give it to you now. I'll keep it quick, though. Jack Sinclair is who I put on this week, guys. Second straight score, under 100. He was really looking bad there up until halftime. I thought Steele and Laird both having their fourth quarter issues that they had would be the worst part of the game. No, it was Jack Sinclair for me. So they play the Giants this week, so he's a chance of holding his spot. But he now falls into this group where he's there with Jakey Lloyd, Mason Redmond, Luke Ryan, Will Day, and I just don't know if he's in my best 6 defenders anymore. And that leaves me with a headache, and I don't like it. So I'm putting him on the hot seat this week because I just don't know if he's going to be playing.
Not the man of 2022, that's for sure. I think he averaged 124 last year, and just nowhere near it, nowhere near the mark. And it's Ross Ball. He's got Nasiah Wanganeen-Malira taking a lot of the reins out of down back for St Kilda, and Jack Sinclair's run-off back is still, elite, some of the best in the game, but he's just not getting the ball in his hands nearly near as much as last year.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a fair call. I actually benched Sinclair for the first time this season last week. And, coaches are going to have to start thinking about that week in and week out. Is Sinclair part of the best 6 defenders? And as you said, Cal, I don't think so either. Not at the moment, at least. If you can hit some form later on in the year, then maybe. But right now, you have a very good point there, mate. Like, I can't be starting him either.
All right.
Let's now move on. Yes, the question of the round. We are going to ask what our questions are. These are going to be fantasy related. So, Callum, why don't you start it off? You finished the last one. Start off this one. Take it away, mate. What's your question of this round?
Don't want to forget me this time. No, I'm excited that we've got a question of the round segment. We had this on last year's show. My one is pretty simple. Tim English or Rowan Marshall? It is the question that I face every single week. And right now, is there a tougher question in Game Day Squad Fantasy than that? What do you guys think?
No, that is the easiest answer. And I said it on the live stream, and I'll keep saying it. Tim English is that guy, bro.
Tim English's average is higher, but the head-to-head's pretty close.
Yeah.
The head-to-head
is pretty close. Rowan Marshall has got a bit about him, and he's got GWS this week, so I love this question of the round.
And it's such a tough one because... Yeah, you can stick with him, and that might be the right call, and it might be. But I tell you what, weeks like this where you can't play both of them, unlike traditional fantasy where you can play 2 ruckmen, it'd be so much easier. Here you have to pick one, and I don't know, it makes it so hard. It's what keeps me up at night. So that's what I'm going to be thinking about all week.
and fair enough, mate. And fair enough. But yeah, look, it is a tough call. Although I do go on the live stream and I say, you have to be playing Tim English. I just want people to ride Tim English with me. You love seeing it, but Kerm, mate, what's your question of the round?
My question of the round this week is one of my guys, surrounded by one of my guys. It's Matty Rowell. And, behind the Iron Curtain, Callum himself has had some words to say about Matty Rowell and how good he has been in recent years. But I think, and this could come back to bite me on the backside so hard, but I think we are starting to see glimpses of his debut year. And just how good he was last weekend against West Coast. I'm talking 29 disposals, 17 tackles, he unleashed for a goal. That goal he scored out of the pack was reminiscent of his debut year. And a lot of his, I guess, blights have been in the last season is how bad his kick to handball ratio is. Only one game this year, he's had less kicks than handballs. He has been so good. He's averaging 112 GDS fantasy points as a midfielder so far this year, and coming off 167 points against West Coast. I think we are starting to see glimpses of how good Matty Rowell can be, and if he can keep this up over a prolonged period, that is obviously the biggest question. I think we're going to see a player as a fantasy asset who can be started.
I like it. And we all love Matty Rowell.
You like it?
We just know, when he burst onto the scene, he was his numbers, his Brownlow polling was insane. Absolute freak. And then he just kind of disappeared a bit. Injuries, it happens. But no, I would be all about it because we want to see your Suns do well. This, we don't want them going to Tasmania, Kern. We know how much that would hurt you. And a big Q clash this week. Very big. But yeah, good question.
Massive Q clash.
Yeah, my 2 cents on it, I guess, is look, with Matty Rowell, he is playing really good, but I do have concerns when Took Miller and Noah Anderson and Rowell are all playing. I feel like Rowell, when everyone's back, is going to be very similar to Jack Viney last year for the Demons. He's going to be a solid player. He's going to be doing his role, but is he going to take over as one of the better midfielders? And especially for fantasy, no. But the difference between Jack Viney and Matty Rowell is that Matty Rowell is a dynasty asset and he's super young. And so you are right. We are starting to see this development and him going to take that next step, getting to that next level. And I just think it's a matter of time before he becomes a startable player in all Game Day Squad lineups. So hang on. Keep hanging on. He's a great dynasty asset. And very soon we might be seeing him feature quite commonly in a lot of teams.
I'll take the Jack Viney comp over Cam from the Draft Doctors Ben Cunnington comp, so I'll take that, Tom. I like that.
But alrighty, let's move on to my question of the round. And I've got a bit of a spicy one this week, and I actually referred to it a little bit earlier in the show. But it's this tandem at Essendon of Zach Merritt and Darcy Parish. And what I'm sort of asking, are both of these players startable in weeks for your fantasy team? Because they both have really good averages, and right now they're both within the top 10 of midfielders in AFL fantasy. So that's my question. Can you be starting these two side by side? Are you trying to pick one over the other each week? What's your guys' 2 cents on it? I want to hear it.
No, 100% you can start both of them at the same time. These two are the best two midfield duos in fantasy football for me. I think you can make the case for Andy Brayshaw and Sarong. I mean, you got Simpkin, LDU, at a lesser degree at the Kangaroos. But for me, Darcy Parish and Zach Merritt are the best duo for fantasy football league-wide, and they are unbelievable. They can coincide in your teams easily. They almost should be. You got to ask the question, if you've got both of them, should they be? And oftentimes the answer is going to be yes.
To play devil's advocate, no. I think they are one of the best duos in the midfield and maybe 2 of the top 10 midfielders. I don't know they're 2 of the top 5 midfielders, either of them. So when I look at them, do I want to be playing both of them at the same time? No, I don't. I'd much rather. I look at it, I got Brayshaw, I got Walsh, I got Laird. Am I really going to fill the other 2 with Parish and Merritt? No thanks, not for me. Maybe one of them, but not both.
Okay then. If you were to pick one then, in your opinion, who's sort of got the edge right now? What are you looking at?
I like Parish a little bit more. I think he's just a little bit more consistent for me. but loves a handball, so drives me crazy.
Oh, and that he does. And that he does. But let's move on. This is our final part of the show. And Callum, this is usually a part that you're buzzing for, but I am super excited for this week. Callum, take it away with your lock of the round.
We can skip over this one for this week if you guys really want. No,
Yes,
you can
please.
see there, my lead at the top to Tom is shrinking. Which means I didn't get a win. Tom did. Cam, I don't know what happened with you, but I know the community definitely didn't get a win. I don't know how Boston has a role in this, Tom, why that's happening, but yeah. Anyway, guys, I went with Noah Anderson, and I wasn't able to make the live show last week, and I think it was a little bit of karma, as Tom would say. But for me, I just say it's good for competition. I said Anderson was going to get 125, and I think he got 103, which is very below par. So yeah, big L for me.
Can I ask where the inspo from that pick came from? Just curious.
Absolutely. Came from the hot hand. He was just massively in form. I knew I wouldn't get a chance to pick him again. Miller was out. If I was ever going to pick Noah Anderson, it was going to be that week. So nothing to do with our co-host, that's for sure.
Mate, you're like James Harden in Game 7. MIA when it matters most, mate. That's why I was doing this, because your boy is Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Gosh.
How do you guys go? Not that I want to hear how you went, Tom.
Well, I did really well. I picked Sammy Walsh to go for 133. I thought he was going to bounce back off a bit of an average week, and that's average by his standards. Most other players, the week prior is a very good week, let's be honest. But he has been, since his return to the Blues this season, on fire. Looks like he hasn't missed a beat. Kerm, I do know you're expressing concerns about those CBAs, but what I'm loving to see is everything else around the ground. He's working really hard back in defence. He's pushing really hard when the ball's moving out of the defence into the midfield. Like, he's getting nice marks, kicks. I'm just like, it's a different Sammy Walsh, to be honest with you. It's not this tough nut in the midfield getting 30 contested possessions a game. It's a real matured player, and I do love seeing it. So 133 got quite easy for me. But what about you, Kerm? Who did you go with?
I went with the other Dacos brother, and he missed. So I've got 2 reds for 2 Dacoses so far this year, which is not a good look. I'm really keen to move on to next week, and yeah, let's just move on. Cal, who have you got?
No, you move on. Come on, you need some cheering up. Who are you going this week? Who are you locking in and why?
I'm going Max Gawn. He's got the Port Adelaide matchup, who just leaked points to Todd Goldstein. Bryn Teakle just is not a matchup in the ruck. Your guy, Bryn Teakle, no matchup.
Not my
in the
guy.
ruck, so I'm going with Max Gawn.
Oh, he's going to leave him hanging.
So yeah, going Max Gawn 120. Let's move
Remember,
on.
Rowan Marshall went huge against us a couple of weeks ago. We bleed ruck points, so that's a really good one. Who are you going with, Tom? Who are you going to try and claw me back with? I'll let you go first so I can think about copying it on the way through.
Claw me back. Do you know what I love to see is how I'm 1 pick underneath you, and I'm so close. This is what happens when you guess small and your boys guessing big. I just hunting that lead down, but I'm going with what I would say is the hottest boot in the league right now. It's Mr. Errol Goulden for the Sydney Swans.
Time out. You've checked. Kerb, you can see the slides. I've updated. I know that this is behind the curtains. Tom has not made a pick, and I've made Errol Goulden. My slides have been updated. Everyone watching this will see Errol Goulden on Tom's slides, but it's not done yet. I want a review. He's had a look. He's had a check. He's cheating.
Firstly, how dare you after last week when you copied my Noah Anderson pick, come out and say that I've copied you, and I would like to put it on the record for everyone at home. I did not look at the slides. I make my own decisions here, and Callum has me as his benchmark for performing every week, and he copies my picks for lock of the round. So you guys make your own conclusions.
Hang on.
Come on.
Let me step in. It's early Monday morning. For everybody listening, it is early Monday morning. I do not think Tom has even gone into the slides and changed them yet. And that I don't think he's even been in there to look.
Thank you. Thank you, Kerm.
I will be
and I haven't.
protesting.
And that's the thing is,
You should be getting in there before the show and updating your slides, but I
should
just
do.
think, yeah.
Well,
we'll give you a pass with Boston. But all right, how many points? Let's see if you
Mate,
copy me exactly.
This will be the test.
copy me. Well, knowing you, you're going to be 110, and I will not be guessing anywhere near that number. So I'm going with the same as last week. 133 seems to be my magic number, and I'm sticking with it for Errol Goulden.
All right.
So what about you, Callum? Why don't you make a big deal about it, this whole thing? What are you going for? How many points? Because knowing you, as I said, it's going to be sketchy.
Errol Goulden, 130 points. Locked in. It's in my slides already. Check
Ooh.
it. We will see Errol Goulden go for 132, and I will be happier than you will be after a Jason Tatum 50 bomb, and I can't wait. Can't wait for it to happen.
In fact, nothing can make me happier than a Tatum 50 bomb in Game 7. I will say that. But that's going to be spicy. And you're trying to give me that bad juju, but hopefully Errol Goulden prevails and gets to 150 as he's been doing every week. But thank you, everybody. That is going to wrap up another episode of Game Day Squad's Aussie Rules show for round 10. If you've made it this far in the video, we have a live stream every single Thursday where we sell 6 cards for 1 cent. So make sure you download the app. Make sure you're there in the live stream so you have a chance to pick them up. But other than that, thanks for checking in with us for another week of Aussie Rules footy, and we'll see you in the next one.